happy night, everyone. I'm on my way home actually, and I thought about sharing some tips on the letting go technique because people are asking me. So, when I've found that I've been like the most effective with it is a lot of times when I basically don't try at all. And what I mean with this is very subtle. It's a super subtle thing because, like, let's say I put the timer on 20 minutes, 40 minutes, sit down, and I started to experience an emotion, or I have a bad emotion. What a lot of people tend to do, and if you listen to the guidance meditations that are out there on the letting go technique, some are like, oh, go into the emotion, feel it, feel it, feel it. And I love the enthusiasm with that, but in my own experience, that is like trying to mess with the emotion, trying to, even though the intention is to let it go, it's actually inhibiting that, or like you're not doing that. So maybe you will let go, but not as much as you could have. So a better way is like actually not to have, in a way, a purpose at all. Almost like when you sit down, when you put the timer on 20 minutes, when I'm in the most effective, or I start usually low. I start with like maybe 5 minutes, then I go 10, then I go 20 minutes, or like a video that is like 10 minutes, then like 15, then like 20. And I switch, so I can do like 1.5 hour meditation or 2 hours sometimes, because I just keep on building, because it will be easier to get into flow that way. So when you sit down, let's say you put it for like 10 minutes, the next thing is you just sit there, and the emotions, they will come up by themselves. You have to trust this. You have to like let the outcome go of this. You don't need to do anything to force the emotions up. You don't need to actively think about something, or visualize. They will come up by themselves. And Michael Singer, he says it in the way that, which is beautiful. It's like nature has it all planned. The letting go technique is like natural to you. If you don't do anything, things will come up. And usually it's like small feelings in the beginning. If something has not happened, it comes up, and you just let it, come up. You don't need to really, do so much. You let it come up and let it like run its course. Let it be there. And if it's there and nothing happens and it just stays there, let it stay there, because you might be thinking, oh, nothing is happening, I'm not doing anything, but you're actually letting it go. Because when you let it be here, and on the surface you'll be like, there's nothing happening, and it will be like 20 seconds, 30, be like 1 minute, then like maybe 5 minutes will happen. You'll notice, like, depending on the timeline, you'll notice how it's like, maybe it started at like a 7, and you're like, it's kind of like a 5 now, and then you'll be like, it's kind of like at a 4, oh shit, and then you'll notice it subtle. But again, you're not actively doing anything, just letting it. Okay, you'll get better at this. I mean, I struggle myself. It's really like a practice. It's like a fresh knowledge, right? Like, I work in sales, and if I can be incredibly good at a script like one day, and if I don't do it next day, even though it was amazing the day before, I'll be bad because I haven't practiced. So anyway, you'll keep doing this, and okay, so it goes from like a 7 to like a 5 to like a 3. You just let this happen, and what will happen is maybe it goes down to like a 2. In my experience, maybe it goes down to like 1. Maybe it goes down to 0. Let's say 1 or 0, and it's gone. And usually what will happen is another emotion, another thing. It can go from like, maybe you start off, you have like the first emotion, it's like a tenseness around the chest, like around like an aura, like, oh, you kind of feel tense, something like in your neck. You kind of feel like, maybe you worked at an office all day, you were irritated at someone. That's how it's gonna start. And then when that one is gone, maybe the emotion will be, you'll feel sad. You'll feel like, go from maybe you're feeling like irritated on some person and kind of angry, to like sadness. That's really normal. That's like usually anger is suppressed feeling of like sadness, or you're actually sad or like hurt, emotional. So maybe you'll come to sadness, which might be an emotion that is a little bit deeper, maybe down in the belly, solar plexus, like more down, and you're like, you feel like heavy. And then you'll go do the other one, and maybe that one will start up at like an 8, and you'll come down to like 6 and like 4, and that's how it goes. You keep on doing this stuff. So for me, my own experience, as I said, is like when I've done the letting go the best, it's not that I've done a super complicated technique. Sometimes I watch these videos like guided meditations on YouTube, and I love them. I love, for example, like Joe Dispenza, but some of his meditations are like, for me personally, I find them very advanced, because they're like, do this, focus here, focus there. If you look at like Michael Singer's, I find that the most effective, best meditation is the one that is the most simple. And simple stuff are really hard sometimes to understand, because we overlook the simplicity of it, okay? So, again, just sit with the emotion, don't do anything, and just be very patient with yourself as well. I mean, let maybe your first session, so 20 minutes, have no expectations at all. Have zero expectations. Just be like, whatever happens is gonna happen during this 20 minutes. I'm gonna sit here. I think I said this in one of my earlier videos, like, put the timer on 20 minutes, preferably sit on a meditation cushion, on like a pillow, and whatever happens, and you're not gonna resist anything. You're just gonna be here. No, that's too much instructions. You're gonna sit here for 20 minutes. That's it. And you do that for a few times, 4 or 5 times, and then you're probably gonna watch this video again. You come back to it. You start to understand what I'm talking about. So it's real dark outside. Can't see my face anymore. Try that out, guys. Love you. Ask any questions. Peace.